All right, we are live. Wait till people start rolling in, but I should have some juicy info for you guys. And for those who are watching it back and actually watch them consistently, sorry that I wait like 5 minutes before getting into any chunk of info, but gotta let the live viewers stream in. Pokey, Will, what's good, you guys? How's your guys' week? I drove like 12 hours this weekend, so that was chill. That was exactly what I wanted to do. Not. Getting the Twitter post ready while people stroll in. Played a lot of Terraria. Oh, it has been a long time since I played Terraria. You know what game I actually played more than Terraria? And I don't know if this is like extremely niche, but fuck, what was it called? Starbound. I played the fuck out of Starbound, and I loved that game. And if I remember correctly, it's literally just like in space Terraria. That game smacked. Okay. What's up, Ethel? Mia Magic's here. We feeding Alden so he solos the game again? That's a Will question. Will, how have your Aldens been turning out? You won't say anything. What's up, Zill? I feel like Alden is pretty good right now. I feel like Alden is possibly too good right now. But I need Tester in Chief to back me up. Okay. Posted on Twitter. I need to make another image for the developer streams because I have been very lazy about my posts actually looking halfway decent, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet. I will do it even if Alden is Iris level in this game. Ooh, how did that go, Ethel? What, was it on Deity? VOD watchers skip 50 minutes. I know. It's basically like 3 minutes of me actually talking about the game every stream. The other just shooting the shit with chat. Okay, no, but I thought this would... Okay, let me know what you guys think, but I thought this would be like a fun idea for a stream. I'm gonna just like dig around through my documents and like theory craft a build, and then I'm just gonna tell you guys the information as I'm thinking about it, and then I want to get your thoughts on... Because I feel like that'll actually give some insight into how the systems work and how it like plays out. Because it's kind of, when it's abstract, it's not all that, like, easy to see how it's going to turn out. Yes, I'm drinking McDonald's coffee, sue me. Normally I make coffee at home. I was lazy today. On Deity, nice. Zill, Chip, what if we made a character reveal? Not that I'm biased or anything. As Genius will. Yeah, we need to start doing the reveals again, and I've been a little lax on that front. Sorry. I've been busy. I've been doing lots of stuff, guys, I swear. Elias hard carried. Yeah, Elias I feel like is actually pretty good now. What's up, Mortis? So let's see. I also, full disclosure, for those of you guys who read the dev blog, we are changing the ability upgrades. The ability upgrades are now not going to be like... Okay, for a while it was a linear path, and you just got the same... Everyone got the same 4 upgrades. We're changing them to be that you choose 2 of 4, and the upgrades themselves are more impactful. So that every ability has like multiple build paths for it. And I have not gone through and actually like changed the upgrades for the abilities yet, because that is like 400 things that I need to change, which is going to be a pain in the ass, but I'm probably just gonna have some wine and do it one night, and it's gonna be goated, and we're gonna trust that I'll do a good job, and I probably won't, but then we can tweak them from there. So, but the new system is going to be fun. Elias is a great tank. Let's see. Every time someone tells me Elias is good, they're also like, just give him the first speed booster, and so on. Dude, Meg is good in Radiant Dawn. You just need to baby her the entire game. Speaking of, I may need to bend your ear after stream. I would expect no less, Will. I know it's coming. Anytime anything is talked about Dark Deity, I just expect that I'll be hearing from you. Gale plus Windrunners plus Yelendre is bonkers on him. I think that's pretty good on just about any of them, though. Adepts are kind of broken in Dark Deity 1, if you, like, properly itemize them. I mean, anything can really be broken if you put the right aspects on. Godzilla, Kong. I heard that Godzilla is, like, basically not in the movie. Because Gale is the... Okay, Gale, Windrunner, not only, I think, is one of the best class and class combos, but I also think that it's the most fun. I'm a big proc skill guy. We basically have no proc skills at all in Dark Deity 2, I will say that. But I love procs, and that was just like proc heaven. Which was, to be totally honest, was probably a pretty fucking stupid design. But it's really fun. So, I'll stand by that one any day of the week. Procs are just crits. They're not, though. They're not. Not on that one, because they have like a 50% chance. It's just built-in uncertainty. Which I know you hate, Zill, for good reason. Which is why we don't have them in the second game, okay, but but it was a fun design. That was an MMO class design. He's not downplayed. Nice. 50 plus defense and fortitude endgame with no stat boosters is quite filthy. But yeah, whoever was asking about Alden is good in Dark Deity 2, and also, as Zill was saying, Alden in the lore is very strong. So, I feel totally fine with him being a little OP. I wish. Okay, here's like my dream as a developer. The first game, Dark Deity 1. Before launch, we made a balancing pass about this, but I really stuck for a while to the philosophy that it's okay for characters that are stronger in the lore to be stronger in-game. And so, you had characters like Sophia, who's just like a person with a bow and a pet ferret, like, was horrible. And then Arima and Thalanel were so jacked. All of the adepts were really strong. Like Maeve, crazy strong, and it was. I will say, I think that there are some design elements from that filtered into the like final game that didn't go well. Like a lot of these characters that are canonically like crazy strong, you get later in the game, which honestly the intent behind that was that. To match your army's like growth throughout the game, it was supposed to make sense. It was supposed to make sense canonically that these newcomers were as strong as your army that you've been training up, because in the lore they're fucking jacked. And then we moved a bunch of stuff around. But there is a reason that you're getting strong units all the time, and I don't think that was a good decision necessarily, but that wasn't just like a random thing that happened. We kind of did intentionally do that. And then there were nerfs left and right and buffs left and right, and now it's in like a totally different place. But that was when we originally built the game out. That was what we were thinking. Which again, I think is fun design in an RPG. Is it good design in a strategy game? Absolutely not. So that's where, as per usual, we ran into trouble because I think I was making cool RPG elements in a game where the RPG most often takes the backseat in actual gameplay. So, boohoo, doing it better this time. Zeph, what's good? I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Are you still streaming? How you doing? That's one of the first people that ever streamed Dark Deity 1, if I recall. Oh my god, I almost threw up on Dark Deity 1 launch day when people were finally playing the game and streaming it. We had a watch party at my place with some of the dev team. And like we had the Twitch streams up on my TV in the living room, and I had to leave the room because I was so uncomfortable watching it, and like I just like felt like it was gonna crash or someone was gonna shit on the game or something, and I was freaking out. So I literally left the room and went and like sat on my computer and started working on bug fixes while there were like 6 people at my house supposed to be celebrating. I went back to work because I was stressing. Let's see, Zill. I think striking the balance between strategy and RPG in this genre is probably the hardest part. I think I would agree with that. It's definitely difficult. Loved launch day, finishing the final boss at 10 a.m. in the morning of my 14-hour stream. You're a fiend. That is crazy. That's crazy and very cool. XCOM 2 leans way harder on the strategy element, and a lot of people in the FE sphere who just kind of hate that game on principle for it. I love XCOM 2, but I will say, I think in my heart of hearts, I have a softer spot for XCOM Enemy Unknown. Was that the like 2010-ish one? I fell in love with that game. It didn't you couldn't mod it the same way. It like genuinely in most ways I think was just not as good. But in my opinion, the vibe of that game slayed. I thought it was better. That's one of my favorite games. Door to Thee, first time catching a stream. Know nothing about it. Happy to be here. Well, welcome. Have you played the first game? I feel like that's a qualifier question. As I know if someone new is in here, I don't want to like start talking about endgame stuff from Dark Deity 1 and then spoiling it and ruining your day. What's up, Ray? Zeph, also as for lately, just went to Anime Ottawa this weekend. Was just a Zhongli from Genshin Impact all weekend. Which one is Zhongli? Is that the... I never played the game, but I feel like I know the characters because of Molly. Our VA director is in Honkai Star Rail, so she's always, and she loves Genshin, so she's always talking about Hoyoverse. Yeah, those games. I'd prefer XCOM 1 if I didn't hate the Air game. Yeah, that's totally fair, actually. Popped in for a sec, then you're out. See you, Mike. Caligma, yeah, she plays Seal, I want to say? I could not tell you the name of a single other character, but I know that she streams it, so I think... Let's see. Seal. The purple hair one. Voice. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, she plays Seal. Yes, she's very badass. She streams also with like a gajillion viewers, so you go... I actually don't know what her thing is, but you can look up the character and find her. I think her streams are pretty fun. I guess I should start actually talking about the game. Imagine that. Well, just to do a little bit of prefacing to, you know, Door to Thee, if he's still here, or if they're still here, excuse me. I'm going to be... I know, actually, Zill. I'm planning to be talking about some of the gameplay systems in Dark Deity 2 that we haven't gone super in depth about. Partially because we've talked about we've revealed some classes, we revealed some abilities. I've talked like vaguely about systems, but I do think that in a game like this, it's a little easier to understand like the potential of a system when you're seeing how things actually work within that system. So we're gonna do a little bit of theory crafting because I think that that's fun. Although the ring system is in a bit of flux, so we'll see how that actually looks. All right, I've got a notepad. I'm gonna build a character with you guys on stream. So, talk about the systems right now. There are, I'm gonna say, is it 5 major systems, I guess? You have your class, which makes obviously an enormous impact on how they play. And then attached to your class, as well as the personal character, you have abilities. And those abilities are upgradable. And the upgrades are variable, so that's another sort of piece of your build that you can change. You have weapons, and I'll subset. Runes are effects that are sort of similar to aspects from Dark Deity 1, but they are attacking, damage, kill. They're weapon specific. And so those can be slotted into your weapon, and we're still playing around with exactly how removable they are. I do think in this next build I'm going to make them freely removable, because every single tester that we've had has been just like stockpiling runes until they get really good weapons, and we don't really want that. If you get cool loot, you want to be able to use it, you know what I mean? So I will probably make them freely removable. As cool as it is to like create more of the fantasy of a rune weapon, we're playing around with that essentially. Yeah, add fire to the longsword kind of runes is definitely a way to go. I don't think we have an actual fire one because there's no like burning damage. We could though, actually, now I'm looking at it. That would be fun. But it is stuff like that, you know, like you can add let's see, okay, you can add a gouge rune to your weapon, which will turn it into, say, like longsword of gouging instead of just longsword. And then every time you hit someone with said longsword, it will apply a bleed stack. Longsword was censored for you, weird. Yeah, they'll most likely be removable, just because it's pretty limited how much loot you can actually give people in this kind of game. You'd be surprised, because it gets really exhausting if you, like, every other enemy you kill, you're picking something up. We want it to feel meaningful. So I think I'm leaning more towards making them removable, which I know will make Will happy. Although Will is a rune hater in general, so that's okay. He has to let me cook. But yeah, so there's you know, debuff appliers. There's also like a swift rune, which is going to make your weapon have less power but be less heavy, so it'll make your character faster comparatively. So there's stuff that, you know, there's alters the stats. There's a rune that makes your weapon deal physical damage or magical damage if it is the other kind, which I think is very fun to play around with. But yeah, the devil is absolutely in the detail with this kind of thing. There is which is why I'm very free about tweaking things as we go, because I don't want to get locked into an idea and then decide, you know, in 6 months, oh man, this isn't as fun as it could be, but we're like too locked in. So what we are kind of shooting from the hip and changing and testing and changing and testing, and stuff has been in constant flux throughout development, because yeah, Mortis, it does create some goofy situations where you're like unloading magic on someone, but it's doing physical damage. It feels a little bit odd. Let's see, Ethel, how about freely movable but only between chapters? That's how it works. Yeah, you can't change runes within the map. You can only change them in base. What's the guiding design principle for these runes? Dortu is asking phenomenal questions. Welcome to stream. I like these questions a lot. I think that it kind of depends on the player and it depends on the class. They are definitely added strength. They aren't like filling in a missing piece. They aren't intended to add a ton of missing strength for the most part. Yeah, they're they're a way to create synergies with the other build aspects. But they're not intended to be an enormous power spike, right? Like, let's see. For example, the Titan rune, which does nothing but give you 3 extra power on your weapon. That's about like, which is a lot. That's a lot of damage, right? That's 3 extra damage on every attack. That's a big deal. But that's about like the highest power add you're going to get. For the most part, it is a value proposition that is maybe, you know, taking something away. It's not a huge amount of power. It just tweaks how the weapon plays. It's not intended to be like an enormous net positive. Yeah, there are a fair amount of trade-off runes. I'm looking through them right now. There could probably be more. Yeah, like there's piercing rune, for example, will have your power but allow you to ignore defense. So for, you know, units with a ton of power that can get past defense and do a lot of damage, it's not going to be very good, but it might be really useful on like a rogue. I need to play Bloodborne so bad. I play all of the Soulsborne games that I can, but I don't have a PlayStation. So when I buy one, that's like the first thing that's going in. I want to play Bloodborne for the longest time, but I'm an Xbox crony and don't have a PlayStation yet. And I just feel like I can't justify buying one right now because I'm gonna play Neo. I'm gonna play Bloodborne, and that's probably about it. So I can't really like go out of my way to get it. Yeah, I think runes will be fun. Okay, but anyway, moving on. You have, what have we covered? We talked about class, ability upgrades, runes, and then you have rings. So rings are basically aspects from the first game that are not. Yeah, Neo is on PC, Zill, but I don't want to. If I'm playing with a controller, I don't want to sit in a chair. I want to be in bed or I want to be on my couch. I'm anti-controller PC gaming. I have to play on console. I'm a weirdo like that. Oh yeah, I would play Demon's Souls too. But so yeah, rings function more similarly to aspects from the first game, but they are generally less powerful because you can equip 2, and this game has more, you know, power-based systems that it has to compete with. So let me navigate over to my rings. Hold on. What the fuck? Where is it? Aha! Console gamer born and raised. It's true. Just hook up my PC to the TV. My PC is in a different room from the TV. It had to be like wireless. You can probably do it, but I'm too tech stupid for that. That's not true. I'm too lazy for that. Is probably the better answer. Let's see. What would be a good ring to talk about? This one I think is interesting. So I do actually have a 40-foot HDMI cord, so I could do that. I didn't really think about that, but I do have a 40-foot HDMI cord. Oh, let's see. Shad12377. Welcome to chat, by the way. I don't know if you've been in before. Read your post about the whole picking between the god of the sun and goddess of the moon sides. I understand how that changes them visually, but I'm curious how much this actually alters their passives and abilities, like it says in the post. How big of an impact does this have versus just the class choice itself? Just look like, or is it just another part of the class primarily for lore look as a way to express the class ideology? Why is the archer example specifically sun and not moon in that line? Phenomenal question. Thank you so much. You guys are asking great questions today. So let me go pull this up. It is partially a visual and lore design. I will say that's the primary impetus for it. And then the passives and the abilities sort of arise out of that. So, for example, sorry, the Seeker, right? So the Seeker is the tier 2 version of the Elisant, which is the Sun Archer. And their passive is Exposing Light, which anytime they attack an enemy, it's going to inflict them with a vulnerable stack, which is a debuff that makes them take more damage for, the next X attacks, depending on how many stacks they have. And so that's something where, like, that the aesthetic of, they're like lighting up the area around the enemy to make them easier to hit, easier to do damage to, comes from the aesthetic of like, this is a, sun magic, sun god class. And their abilities, similarly, the first Seeker ability is Illuminate, which you can use on an ally. It's also probably going to have an upgrade path where you can make it self-castable. But the Seeker is really a support class, right? So they have Illuminate and they have Enchant Weapon. It is pokey. Lots of stuff has changed, actually, since reveals. That's kind of why I stopped revealing stuff, because we're changing so much stuff that I like reveal something and then it changes 2 days later. Also because I'm lazy, to be totally fair. But yeah, so Illuminate will increase one of your allies' accuracy for, say, what is I'll just look up what the actual value is. Starts at 2 turns, and you can upgrade that and make it longer. And then Enchant Weapon will make their next X attacks deal extra damage, depending on the unit's mastery and depending on your upgrades. And so I will say that the Seeker and Elisant draw much more heavily from the Sun God aesthetic than the Champion does. And similarly, the Oncurrent pulls much more heavily from the Moon God than the Reaper line does. It's a little bit like the Elisant and the Oncurrent are like the magic vanguards, and the Reaper and the Champion are the more like martial vanguards. Let's see. Get the idea behind that. It's incredible. I guess a way to sort of streamline my primary question is, why wasn't the Sun/Moon a choice after the class versus X class is locked to X size as another type of system to have as player agency? That is another super interesting question, and to be completely honest with you, I didn't even really consider that. I think that is, having like god devotions be, an additional form of customization could be really, really cool in this kind of game. I think with all the systems we have right now, it probably would have been too much. And frankly, from like a developer load side, that is a lot of extra work for us, especially if it's going to change like the aesthetics of the class, a lot of extra animations, a lot of dev load. That's the kind of thing that I think, like, if we had more time and money and capability, that would be sick. And maybe I'll steal that idea and put it into our next game. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a decision we really made. It was the Sun and Moon God thing was really just specifically for the Vanguard and specifically as a aesthetic class design choice. But given our lore and given the systems of the game, I think that would be a very cool system. So it's a great question. A very, very interesting question. But no, we did not think about that. You'd be surprised how many good ideas just kind of get passed by when you're in the depths working on stuff, because that is a very good idea. Sell a lore book? No, dude, because who's putting it together? Let's see. Alright, I was gonna talk about rings. Okay, so just gonna throw a random ring at you guys so you can get a bit of a bit of an idea of what they might do. Where was the one I was going to say? Okay, so the brightening ring, which I think is a little fun. Makes it so every time the unit who has it on heals an ally, it gives them +5 fortitude for that turn. Does it even say for one turn? I should probably put that in there. Hold on, where'd it go? Yes, it does say. So for one turn. No worries at all. I love getting sidetracked. That's like what's fun about the streams. I get to just kind of shoot the shit and talk about games with you guys, which I love. So keep them coming. I appreciate it. The whole streams are sidetracks. I don't like really plan these out. I should. If I were a better developer and streamer, I would plan these out and really talk about it. I kind of just like to choose a topic and then get on stream and fuck around. So, questions are great. I highly appreciate and encourage them. So if the user heals, they become tankier, making it. No, it gives the fortitude to the unit that you heal, not to the healer. Yeah, Pokey was asking it. Yeah, it gives it to the healee, the receiver of the heal. Will Link. So in the Wave Seer, which was revealed, yes it was, thank you. The ring will apply the bonus to all healed with Healing Wave. Correct. Yes. So it definitely is something that can gain in power significantly if you have a heal that targets multiple people. That is an interesting option. Although there are heals that you can target yourself with, so that is still an option. You just have to have a more specific blend of things. I think several of the heals are going to have a self-target upgrade option, in the case that you want to make that a thing. But you will be foregoing other power to choose that, so that is something that's worth keeping in mind. Let's see. Okay, this is a ring that is not in game yet, but I think it's fun, and I think I'll probably keep it. The Radiance ring. Let's see, how do you craft that? I feel like I should probably change the breakdown of what gems craft the Radiance ring, because they're very dark right now, and that doesn't make sense to me thematically. Hold on, let me move this before I explain what it does. What's a better? Where's the diamond? 3. Yeah, we'll put it down there. I feel like needing a diamond to craft the Ring of Radiance makes sense. Anyway, the Ring of Radiance makes it so anytime you directly damage a enemy with an ability, and there are, I'd have to look, but there's not like a crazy amount of direct damage abilities. Most of the abilities are buffs or debuffs or heals or impact combat in some other way. But anytime you use a directly damaging ability, it applies blind stacks to the enemy, which reduces their accuracy for an attack per stack. We're messing around with values right now, but right now for blind, every stack, while you have stacks, your accuracy goes down like 30, I think it is. Will Link, that's specific to one class's ability and you know it. I don't think that's true. I think that there are a lot of direct damage abilities, and I think that this one is pretty largely useful. Speaking of revealed classes, when do we get to see more? Isn't there like 45 classes counting the base 5? Need more reveals? Yeah, I really need to get back on it. I get nervous about getting overexposed and just like showing off the whole game before it's out, and then having nothing to talk about anymore. But we do have quite a bit of stuff to reveal, as our writer Zillerite likes to point out to me. Let's see, someone's messaging me. How about make a unit that adds a boost of 25% or 35% to other units within 2 squares? if the HP less than 50% of 30% if they got a good bound. I'm not gonna lie, I find that to be a very confusing sentence, and I don't think I fully understand the idea. Watch Chip just dump all classes in the spreadsheet for a reveal. I do. I'm literally looking at a spreadsheet that has all of the classes in it right now. So, someone zoom into the twinkle on my eye so you can read the info. Original Will Link style. Will used to find the most bizarre things. Ring of Radiance does work with Arthur. That is correct. Question, do you have a red tearstone ring? Why does that sound familiar? What is that? Red tearstone ring. Oh. Yeah. I actually don't know if we do. Hold on. It's the rings. I'm like in the middle of redesigning a fair amount of the rings, so I do not have their effects like clear in mind right now. We should do that actually. I'm gonna add that onto my rune list actually. Most damaging things are going to be contained within runes, but let's see. Call it the Valorous rune for now. Let's see. So that'd be something like the Valorous rune. You get 5 power when you're below half health, and then it would change your weapon depending on what slot it's in to either be like the Valorous Longsword or the Longsword of Valor. Or if you equip 2 of them, it would be the Valorous Longsword of Valor. Let's see. Will, the eye thing I only tried once. Didn't get a lot from it. Oh, yeah. There's not enough whites in my eyes. My eyes are too small. If I had them like wide open like this all the time, you might be able to get some reflection or something. Is the overall difficulty of the game increasing on the higher difficulty levels by any substantial margin versus Dark Deity 1? I would like to think that yes. To me, the game feels way harder right now, and I think it's actually too hard. Just even on normal. But something something in this game that is not in Dark Deity 1 is every level has time limits. It's sort of like XCOM 2 in that capacity. Every level has a turn limit. Not a time limit, a turn limit. And on higher difficulties, the turn limits change depending on, like you have to defend for longer, or you have less time to, seize a throne. We need a great serpent ring. No idea what it would do. It would force you to tug on your hair all the time. It would force you to tug on your braid. Have no practical effect. Let's see. Will Link, easy as balls. I beat chapter 7 with base level units. Okay, you beat chapter 7 with base level units. If I recall correctly, all of them but 2 died. Am I wrong? Yeah, so again, we want deity mode in this game, and we are calling them mortal, hero, and deity again. I do want deity to be less abusable. That being said, Dark Deity 2 is, again, I would say, still more of an RPG than a strategy game. All of these systems that I'm talking about, I want you to make broken builds and have strong characters. What I don't want is for it to be so easy to do so that, you're low manning and just like breezing through the game and it's not fun. Which I do think we do a better job of. You actually need your whole team to clear maps, more so than in the first game. There's a couple things, like dodge tanks are less impervious now because there's something called exhaustion. Every combat during one turn will decrease a unit's dodge. So the more a character dodges, the less they're able to dodge. So you can't just throw one really strong dodge tank out and kill like 100 units. Like, they will die eventually. One phase, excuse me. Zill, you gotta find me a solid enough build of the game for me to do that big hard mode test playthrough. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit because I'm working on bringing the story up to speed right now. Probably next month, I would expect. Although I mean, most of like 1 through 17 is pretty playable right now, so maybe I will get that to you. I think hard is more playable than it was for sure. Let's see, Zill, my years of experience playing FE ROM hacks. You're ready, I know. My only concern with the time limits like that is you can turn the game very puzzle-like, and you can do the early game wrong to where you can soft lock because you chose wrong. I think there is some concern there. I don't think that the game will be so difficult that that's like something that will happen frequently. Striking that balance of like eminently playable and also really hard is a tightrope though, so we'll see how that comes along. Yeah, Evasion Decay. I am forgetting what game Zillerite, our writer, was playing. I believe it's a Fire Emblem ROM hack roguelike that has it, and she referred it to me, and I was like, that system's fucking sick, let's do it. Yes. Shout out Embrace of the Fog. I think the person who makes that game is probably very, very smart. So, yeah, we take a mechanic from someone who took a mechanic from someone who took a mechanic from someone else. That's kind of how game development goes. But yeah, I heard that and I was like, wow, that's perfect, because I want dodge tanks to feel good, but I don't want them to be able to kill 10 units. So, it's tough. I thought Smash Ultimate with dodge is basically. That is how creativity works. Well, it's nice because it's a system that fits really well in with all of my other systems, and I think what is really judged is the cumulative whole, you know what I mean? So how it works in my game is going to be very different from how it works in someone else's game, and I think that's fun. Can't have another launch patch, Sia. No. Well, the problem, okay. The excessive problem with Sia was that you didn't even have to try hard for her to become unkillable. I think if you put in great effort and really think about it and go out of your way to create a build that feels excessively strong, that's okay in this kind of game, because that's kind of how it functions. If you're just like normally leveling up a unit and they're like genuinely unkillable, that sucks. It's not fun because you're not like engaging with the mechanics. So it's definitely been a big focus of ours this time around to stay away from that. Let's see, Shad. Does exhaustion affect anything else besides dodge rating? Do they become less accurate, weaker, change XP? No, it's just excuse me. It's just dodge rating. Right now, it's not really possible to become so tanky through defense and fortitude that that you can have the same level of success as like a non-exhaustion dodge tank. So those things didn't really need the excuse me. Those things didn't need like a nerf, if you will. And yeah, that's something that that Zill really changed my mind on. Because I thought dodge decay or exhaustion, what we're calling it, would like make dodge tanks worse. But in a weird way, it makes dodge tanks stronger because I can allow you to have a unit that has, 10% hit rate on an enemy. In Dark DD1, that was untenable because that unit then, went on to kill the whole map and you were fine. But with exhaustion, they can have a really low accuracy. What in the fuck? A really low dodge or really high dodge. And And then you can let okay, they're gonna dodge probably 2 or 3 attacks at least. And that's like a very useful thing. That's true, Shad. And there are points where you can do that. Will, I would ideally not like to have several 0% hits in a row. And actually, I don't think that can happen because I think that you are locked at 1%. Don't quote me on this, but I do think that you're locked at 1%. And then the exhaustion is added on top of that. So I don't think that can happen. I might be wrong about that. I actually didn't know that Engage used single RN. Interesting. That's very interesting. I have to play more Engage. I barely played it. There is in fact crit avoid now, thanks to all of the team who were really mad at me that it did not exist. I actually, yeah, I kind of like single RN for under and 2 RN for over. I feel like that is a pretty good compromise. Zillerite would never get mad at me. Meanwhile, this morning, Zillerite's yelling at me for removing a design from the game. Understandably, it was good design. It was good design. But never? I don't know about that. I don't think I can get behind that. Was Fates like that? Did Fates do 2 RN? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I love Conquest. I'm like the biggest Conquest lover around. Because you know it's a good thing that I'm not writing the story in Dark Deity 2, because I do not give a fuck about story in these kinds of games. I care about it in mine, but like I just love the gameplay of Conquest, and I don't care that the story is bad. And I don't care that there is no excuse for why the child units exist and that it's like a silly mechanic, because I think making them and passing skills on is really fun. So I'm a Fates enjoyer. I'll defend it to the last of my days. Not Revolution or Birthright, but Conquest I will defend. I like it. I think it's fun. I've beaten that game many times. More so, I think I've played Conquest more than any Fire Emblem game that is not Radiant Dawn. But I have not played it nearly as much as I have played Radiant Dawn. Ooh, I'm so due for another randomized Radiant Dawn playthrough on stream. Who would actually... Alright, show of eyes in the chat. Who would sit here and watch me play Radiant Dawn randomized again? I thought it was very fun last time. Lots of difficulty through interesting map design instead of higher numbers. Yeah, that's I think that's the key. Yeah, I think there are some similarities. The thing that I actually really don't like about Fates, and I think a lot of people talk about this, I don't think this is like a groundbreaking opinion. Having to like hover over every enemy to see their obscure skill that's going to one-shot you is a huge pain in the ass. So enemies don't have like passives and skills in Dark Deity 2 because fuck that. What they do have is generally much higher stats than your units. Enemy units are like really strong in Dark Deity 2 right now. Because you have so many tools to deal with them. With all of the abilities and runes and past, like, you have so many tools to deal with enemies that they have to actually be quite dangerous. Let's see. My only issue with Conquest is, like, chapters 11 to 20 were kind of mid. So earlier, were you listing the 5 things? Are weapons and runes separate, or is there something after rings? Yeah, we literally have not even gotten to, we haven't even gotten to this, have we? I believe I was going to include passives as the 5th thing. Although I don't know if that's kind of a cop-out, because it's like in the, it's included with the class. Weapons and runes are separate, though, because you have multiple weapon choices at any given, stage of the game. And the rune can go into any of those weapons. Yeah, there is a ton of filler in the middle. I don't mind, because I think the filler gameplay is kind of fun, but there is quite a bit. Okay, let's get back on track, because I feel like we didn't even get it all to what I was gonna do here. All right, let's take. We may as well take Gwyn, right? Because I feel like all of Gwyn's classes have been shown, so I can talk pretty freely about like her builds. I have never played Vistaria Saga, but I feel like I probably should. So let's talk about this. So Gwyn's passive, this is going to be a lot of information that has not actually been revealed. So if you've been waiting patiently, I love you. Here comes actual Dark Deity 2 information. So Gwyn's passive is Ferocious Advance. Anytime she kills an enemy, she gets 1 block stack. And the value is, yeah, and is also subject to change, true. But anytime she kills an enemy, she gets a block stack, which reduces damage dealt to her on the next attack by half. Very, 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 very strong buff. If not the strongest in the game. Gwyn becomes very tanky after killing an enemy. And Gwyn's ability is Hero's Cleave, which I need to change the... Let me go get the actual... This thing's been under a lot of change. And again, Will's gonna say subject to change because he doesn't like Hero's Cleave, but I like it. Basically, she can attack and then deal a set amount of damage depending on her mastery and like upgrades to all of the enemies that are adjacent to who you are attacking. And I will say I am still slightly considering whether it's going to be a cleave like circular around her or cleave like circular around the unit you're attacking, but right now it's the unit that you attack. So in theory, if you were to set it up really, really, really well and she was in an archer class, you could get up to 5 block from a single attack if you used Hero Cleave. I don't know if it's ever going to happen in the history of man, because it would take some pretty egregious setup, but there's high potential there. FE engage speed taker but defense. I haven't seen that. Let's see. FE engage speed taker. Do you just like take their speed when you kill them? How does it work? I think you'd be hard pressed to get 2 kills with it. That's true. The damage is just not really high enough right now. A lot of abilities that deal direct damage need to be buffed a lot because it's usually better to just like attack than use them. So that's something that we are keeping an eye on. Someone explain Speed Taker to me because I can't find it. Oh, there we go. You get +2 speed for every player initiated kill. Wait, for like the whole map? That's crazy. What the fuck? That seems wild. That can take you from doubled to doubling Huh? That's... What's the speed threshold in Engage? Is it 5? Yeah, Gwyn is very cool. We are Gwyn lovers around these parts. Yeah, I just have not had the mental to play Engage yet. That's crazy. That seems wild to me. That seems very wild to me. Alright, so now we know Gwyn gets block when she kills a unit, and she has a cleave attack. Okay. Also, Gwyn's aptitudes, let's talk about this, are extremely balanced. She is pretty much able to be built into any of the classes, and she will have the aptitudes to support it. Just a note. Gwyn is pretty strong, I think. He's usually my best character the last few times I have played. But also, I like using Gwyn, so maybe that's why. Maybe I'm babying, and I just don't realize it. What should we talk about? So, let's say this. Because this is kind of a build that I did the last time I played the game, so I'll talk about this. So, let's say you put Gwyn into the Seeker, which is sort of a support archer class, but actually has pretty decent defense. Very bad fortitude, I will say. But, you're going to take the self-cast upgrade on Enchant Weapon, which doesn't exist yet, but it's going to. That allows you to add damage to your own next X amount of attacks. And so Gwyn is going to buff her attacks with Enchant Weapon, and then you're going to use her to finish enemies off. Which I will say does kind of waste the Seeker passive, but still useful, I swear. So, alright, let's go. Hold on. What rune are we going to throw onto the build? Maddening seems kind of straining in pretty much all of the games. So, okay. We're going to put the Overflow rune onto, or into Gwyn's main weapon. And what that does is it stores 10% of the damage you deal into a shield that protects you from the next attack. Yeah, she can. But so you're going to be dealing damage, and you're going to be storing up a pretty big shield for the next attack. And let's see. Go to the rings. And we'll throw the Equilibrium Ring on Gwyn in this situation, which equalizes your defense and fortitude, because Gwyn has pretty strong defense but not very good fortitude, sort of like her dear old dad. And so that's going to give her not very good bulk, like a little bit below average bulk in both of those in the Seeker class. But what's going to happen is, as you kill enemies, you're not going to be getting attacked back, so she's going to build up unimpeded block stacks. And dad reveal? And as she's dealing damage, she's going to be building up shield, right? So via the Overflow ring. So what this is going to turn into is, by the end of the map, you're going to be able to use Gwyn. Yeah, I need to level up my game and actually do that. You know what? Next week, I promise, I will up the presentation value of these streams to not just me sitting here talking to you. I need to be better about that. I I have a bad habit of working until it's like 1:55, and then stream starts in 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get online. I should do that though. But this again, this is like an actual build that I've been using, where you use Gwyn to get a bunch of kills and, you know, deal damage in the early part of the level. And then you can, like, accelerate your whole forces by just, like, throwing her way out into the open, getting a bunch of enemies to come attack her, but she has, you know, say 3 or 4 block stacks from kills. So for, you know, however many attacks that is, she's going to take half damage, and she's got pretty decent bulk in both, and a big shield from the first attack. So, yeah, Shad, that is unfortunately very real. Tuesdays are a lot easier for me to make, though. I don't know why I was doing Fridays. I think I will be pretty good about making these for a while. Also, only doing 1 a week. But then you use Gwyn to, like, catapult your whole army forward by just pulling in a bunch of enemies to attack her. Especially given that she'll be 2 range locked, and so the AI is going to want to attack her more because she doesn't attack back. So you can use her to tank a ton of hits and get the enemies into bad positioning so that you can come in with the rest of your army and just wreck shit. And that save, I think, of mine is on chapter 11, which chapters 11 and 12 are, like, extremely unfinished right now, so I stopped there, but I'm going to be playing them soon. Because 13 through 17 are pretty close to done. So I do be exploiting my own game. But that's fun. It's fun to exploit the game. That's why you play the strategy game, so you can learn to exploit it. Yeah, so that's just one Gwyn build. I guess let's go back to the abilities and think about this. You can also take... This is something that doesn't really utilize Gwyn's passive very well. And this is actually something that Will has talked about, that, like, it's a little frustrating for Gwyn to need to be getting all the kills to, like, be utilized fully. And that is something that is a reason you may see that her passive has changed by the time you get your hands on the game. I think it feels good and it's fun to use, but she does really, like, it funnels her into specific classes. But another thing that you can do is take her into... Oh, let's see, hold on. So is there any news on a potential release date, time frame yet, or is it still just vaguely late 2024? I wouldn't even really, like, be completely set on it being late 2024. We don't have like an internal launch date yet. And we won't be setting one until we are very confident that it is going to be ready at that time. So yeah, like it may well be 2025. I'm not sure yet when it's going to be coming out, but it won't be out until it's ready. So that's a big change from the first game, if you will. Will, I've done tier 2 Reaper every playthrough and should probably branch out. Look at this man protecting the leaks! He's protecting the leaks! He didn't reveal the class name! Let's go! Will, I'm so proud of you right now. My estimate based on my project management class experience says 2025 is very on the table. Yeah. It's, the game is pretty far along. I mean, there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do. Yeah, we need to update the Steam page. That's something that's going to be coming pretty soon-ish. No, Pokey. That is the tier 2 for the Uncurrent. Yeah, so the Steam page probably in the next, like, 2 months is going to be getting a whole slew of new screenshots. Maybe an updated trailer because it looks very different. Too real, Door. Unfortunate but true. New screenshots, probably new trailer, and new descriptions. Because again, Twisted Destiny has changed. A lot of the context of like story and gameplay stuff has changed since we made the Steam page. It's like a lot of work to update a Steam page, so that is something that I'm planning on doing. But that is also something that I think is not going to happen for at least a couple weeks. He who quacks! What's up? I'm like about to stop stream, so sorry for that. I swear there's always like a couple people that show up within 30 seconds of me ending the stream, and I feel bad. So sorry about it. But the VOD will be up right after. Okay, chat can back me up, but I feel like I actually did reveal some interesting stuff during this time. Yeah, PR marketing is a lot of work and a huge pain in the ass, and the whole reason, not the whole reason, but a lot of the reason we have a publisher, because I don't like doing it and I'm not good at it. So you know what, the TikTok for the first game did very well. It's just so exhausting to make videos all the time and then have them get like 50 views and then feel bad. Like I just stopped doing it because it's such a pain. You definitely revealed a lot about things you still need to reveal but haven't. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they do a lot that allows me to just like have fun making a video game, and I think that's pretty cool. So, big Freedom Games enjoyer right here. I do love our publisher. They do a good job. I missed them at GDC. I felt bad. Monica, my wife, for those of you who are new, had COVID a couple weeks ago during GDC, and I was gonna go. Because I live like right around where GDC happens, which is the Game Developer Conference. I'm assuming is what it's called. I went last year, but I wasn't trying to get everyone sick, so I didn't. Let's see. All I got out of this is a bunch of asterisks. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be a little freer with information, especially because like we are constantly changing and updating the game, and like I'm not getting too tied and bogged down to ideas. I want to stay flexible for as long as I can to make sure that the game is going to stay fun and be fun. I think it already is playing pretty well, but the next couple weeks, excuse me, we're just finishing up the script edit. So the next few weeks are going to be me putting in and ideally finalizing a lot of the story scenes. So there's not going to be a ton of gameplay work done over then, but then, you know, we're going to reach a point where the story is done. If all goes well, that script edit's going to be done today. Are you going to take on any more playtesters before release? Yes. But what form that actually materializes in, it remains to be seen. So I don't know how public of a testing round we're going to be doing. I think there is a pretty good chance that there is a demo of the game made available to the public before it comes out. I'm not going to commit that that will be the case. But there is a pretty good chance that that is something that we do. And that would sort of function as a very, very big playtesting round. I need to do some cleaning myself, Zill. After stream, I'm about to go on a cleaning rampage before I get to work on the story. And truthfully, I might play a game of TFT. I'm not sure. I like the new set quite a bit. TFT is fun. But tonight, I'm going in on the story. I've already been working on chapter 1. We may have more NDA testers. I am not entirely sure what the plan is for it. I probably should know the plan. But unfortunately, that's kind of how we do things around here. I plan out to the best of my ability, and then we see how it goes from there. They butchered your evokers? Did they nerf evokers? Hold on. TFT patch notes. I feel like AD feels really bad this set. Oh wait, there's a new patch today. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Nerf to Fortune and Ghostly. Oh, since the previous iteration. Yeah, I feel like I've won a couple games with evokers. Or invokers. Invokers? Evokers? Whichever one it is. Okay, well, I'll read this later. Had like 98% first, second rate in previous evokers. That's crazy. That's wild with it. I am deeply, desperately against forcing one comp. I exclusively will play what the game gives me and what other people are not playing. I had a really good win rate last set, and I'm not doing great this set, but I will cook eventually. I did not play the Shadow Isles set very much. What set was that? That was 9, I think. TFT, I almost always force a comp. I just think, okay, I talk about this all the time. I feel like forcing the same comp every game is not fun. I like seeing, you know, what like the very first few rounds before oh yeah, before the music set. Yeah. I thought the music set was fun too. It got old faster. I've played, I think, more of this set than I played of the music set already. Been playing double up a little bit. Okay, we're way off topic from Dark Deity, so I'm gonna call a stream. I love you all. Thank you for dropping by. I will be streaming again next Tuesday. I don't think I'm out of town for a while. I had like a billion trips right after I was sick for a long time, so I should be pretty consistently around and coming to streams. Remember, you are free to ping me in the Discord. Well, maybe not ping me, but ask questions in the Discord anytime you want. I will answer. It might take me a little while, but appreciate y'all. To the newcomers, Dor and Shad, you guys asked great questions today. Thank you so much. Zeph, it was good to see you. And I will keep you guys posted. Maybe I will post a reveal this week. Who knows? That'd probably be a Friday ordeal if we did it. Still trying to figure out when the socials are popping right now. I feel like I had a good read for the first game, but I don't yet for this one. Yeah, all right. See you guys.